Hey everybody, it's Katie with FTC, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make these moss candles. Now this can be done on either pillar candles or tapered candles. It's totally up to you. What you need for this project is a candle, some paper, a hot glue gun, a pair of scissors, and then your moss. So once you've got your materials gathered, let's get started. These moss candles are so easy to make, and they add a really gorgeous, natural kind of rustic touch to your home decoration. The first step is cutting the paper to go around your candle. Now you can use magazine paper, newspaper, it's really up to you. For my pillar candle today, I'm going to use a piece of newspaper because it's a little longer and it'll fit around it perfectly. So you're just going to lay that out, place your candle on it, and you want to measure if you need to cut your newspaper. So this wraps over about an inch longer than my candle is. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim off the excess. And now we have a good length. The next step is measuring how wide you want your moss to be. So for a pillar candle, I want mine to be about 2 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut, just eyeball it about 2 inches up from the bottom. Now the cut doesn't have to be perfectly straight because the moss is going to kind of grow over it in a natural way, so you won't be able to see that anyway. Okay, the next step is covering this in moss. So I'm going to start by opening up my moss and kind of pulling it apart. You want it to be thin enough so that you can cover a lot of newspaper with it, and it doesn't stick out too far from your candle, but you also need it to be thick enough that newspaper doesn't show through. Okay, now I'm going to take my hot glue and leaving only about a 1/2 inch at the end, I'm going to go ahead and start attaching my moss. And now you just want to keep doing that until you've covered the entire section of newspaper in moss. Now you want to use a lot of hot glue because you want to make sure the moss is sticking to it and not just sticking to itself, because when it wraps around the candle, it will try to pull up a bit. So just use enough hot glue and then stop about 1/2 inch short on this side as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and fill in any areas that look like they need a little extra coverage, because again, you don't want that newspaper showing through. Okay, and there's my moss band. Now it's time to attach it to the candle. So on this big blank area, I'm going to go ahead and just apply a really generous amount of hot glue. I'm going to lay this on the bottom of my candle, wrap it around, and press. And now that is secured. So now you can see kind of what I was talking about, how the moss starts to pull up a bit. So now we can go back in and add additional hot glue and moss to fill in any blank gaps. So like here is a gap right here. So I'm just going to go back in with my hot glue and add a bit more moss. And I'm going to do that until the candle is covered nice and thick. And there you have it, your finished mossy candle. I hope you guys have a lot of fun with this project. Thanks so much for watching.